So how do you start your day? I'm going to tell you how I start mine. It's time for Grace Points. So, 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 30 tells us, "It is because of God that you are in Christ Jesus. He became wisdom from God for us. This means that He made us righteous and holy, and He delivered us." I want you to let that sink in for a minute. I love the words of Paul. This means He made us righteous and holy, and He delivered us. I ask how you start your day because I start mine with a checklist. I have a number of things that I have to do. I know what they are, and a lot of my value, my self-worth, all that I think of myself comes from my ability to accomplish the things that are on that checklist. And that's a terrible thing. Can I just be honest with you, Grace Pointers out there, that it's a terrible thing when you can reduce your day to a list of things that you have to accomplish. I'm still growing. I hope that you're growing the same way. But for a lot of us, it's the same. We find our value, our sense of purpose and self-worth in the things that we can accomplish, the things that we do. Or we find it in other things. We find it in relationships or money or success. And the truth be told, in order for us to find balance, like we talked about last week, we've got to start our day off with the understanding that my value, my purpose, my righteousness is found in Christ and Christ alone. Going back to that verse again, listen to what Paul says. He says, this means that He made us righteous and holy, and He delivered us. All of this comes from Christ and Christ alone. For us to be able to find balance and to start our day off with purpose, we have to center ourselves in this truth that we find our righteousness in Christ. Three things that I want you to get about this today. And so I want you to write it down. Of course, get a pen. I have time. I'll wait. It's 2022. We're starting off fresh. Get your pen. There are three things that I want you to get about this that are really important. Number one, in order for us to find balance and start our day off with purpose, we have to surrender our lives to Christ. Surrender the whole thing. Often we compartmentalize our Christianity. Jesus is here, and then the rest of my life, my work life, my social life, my family life, all those things are kind of over here, and I compartmentalize, and the two don't have to meet. But that's not the way a relationship with God works. For us to really find purpose and be driven by that purpose, to do the things that God has called us to do, and to find our value in Him, we have to surrender the entire life. That means He has to touch everything. Our work life, our social life, our family relationships. Christ has to be the center of all of it. Number two, it means that we are going to stop looking horizontally for what we can only find vertically. I want you to get this. We have to stop looking horizontally for what we can only find vertically. So many of us are on a quest just to be okay. And we look for all the things around us to help us feel okay. Family relationships, friendships, money, success, our achievements, our sense of value all comes from those things. And let me just tell you, for all of you out there in Grace Point land for a second, your relationships, your family, your friends, none of them are equipped to be the Messiah in your life. None of them are equipped to give you a constant sense of peace and value. Eventually, relationships will fail, or people let you down, or you're the one that lets somebody else down. Or if you're looking at success, success won't do it, because eventually, after a great success, you might make a mistake, you might have a failure, or you're constantly looking for another success to give you that sense of purpose and value. So that means that we have to stop looking at the things around us for what can only be found vertically, what can only be found in a relationship with Jesus. None of the other things were meant to fill that void but Christ. And the last thing is this. After you surrender your life and you stop looking horizontally for what you can only find vertically, then after all of those things, you have to secure your identity in Him. When I say secure your identity in Him, I mean find your sense of purpose, your value, everything, not in what you do, but in what Christ has done. You are who you are because Christ has done what He has done. Find your sense of righteousness and value in that. And you'll never feel this sense of inadequacy or this sense of failure when you are trusting that my value, my self-worth, my righteousness, who I am, is not based on me, but based on Him. Anyway, I know you've got a busy day. I do too. I pray that this was a blessing. I will see you next week. This is Grace Points. God bless you.